my name is Chelsea and I blog over at makingmanzanita.com, and I'm really excited to be with you at Hometalk today. We are going to be making some Christmas ornaments that work great as gifts for your holiday season, or could be great stocking stuffers, and we're actually going to be making them out of leather. So the leather that I'm using, you can see it's kind of ripped up. This is definitely recycled leather. I actually found a way to get free leather, and this is actually a recliner that we had in our house that got damaged and destroyed by my dog, and so we decided to use it for crafting. I've also skinned a couch that I have in a different color of leather, so we're going to be using two different types of leather. But that's just one little quick tip for you if you're looking for some free leather for crafting, which I have had a really fun time figuring out different ways to use the leather. So as we get going here, I would love to know where you guys are tuning in from, and what the weather is like where you are today. So we are in Central Oregon, and it's pretty brisk out there. I didn't go outside today because it was so cold. All right, so I'm going to start cutting here. And I'm cutting a piece that's a 1/2 inch wide. And as you can see, I'm using a rotary cutter and this cutting mat and a ruler to get a nice straight line. So 1/2 inch is my width, and then the piece I'm going to need for our first ornament that we're making is 18 inches. So I'm going to cut it. Okay. So 18 inches. It's just a little bit longer than that. Make sure I'm getting a straight line here.
Well, it's mostly cold everywhere except for Arizona.
Of course. Of course.
But
I
yeah,
don't think they really ever get cold.
in New York, Tennessee, Ohio, all very cold and rainy.
Awesome. So as we keep going here, I would love to know what kind of Christmas DIYs you guys have been making lately. So let me know in the comments. I know you guys have probably been busy making some fun DIYs. All right, so I've got my strip, and again, this is leather. And if you're just tuning in a couple minutes late, we're making some Christmas ornaments out of recycled leather. So I cut my first piece, and this is a 1/2 inch wide by 18 inches long. And we're actually going to be kind of forming this into a Christmas tree. I'm going to move this so the background's a little nicer. There we go. All right, so the first step is I want to kind of fold this up, and the Christmas tree is just going to be kind of a folded piece of leather. So I want the base to be about 3 inches. So that's about the base that I want. Okay, so I'm just going to fold this up, and I'm going to get shorter as I fold up. And as you can see, when it's kind of spread out, you'll see it looks like a Christmas tree here. So I'm coming in about a 1/4 inch on each increment there. So there we go. So that's how I'm going to fold it. And this is, if this was expanded like that, that's how you can see how it kind of is going to form a Christmas tree. But we need to keep it folded up for now. Okay, so I'm going to start making, so what we're basically going to be doing is we want to punch a hole all the way through this straight down, but since I don't have a hole punch that can get all of that, we're going to have to kind of do it one by one. So this part's a little tricky if you're doing it for the first time. However, the blog post that I made for this has all the measurements. If you're using the same exact size of leather, so 1/2 inch by 18, it has all the measurements of exactly where you need to punch. So this will be a little easier if you make the same size, because I will show you, I'll just tell you exactly where to punch. So what I'm doing is I punched a hole at the middle of the top, and then I'm using a mechanical pencil here, and I'm just making a dot. I'm pressing through the hole, and then I can see where my next hole needs to be, so it's directly below it. Okay, and this is obviously not a standard size hole punch. It's a little bit, it's smaller. I don't know exactly what size it is. It it looks to me to be about a 1/16 of an inch. I don't know if that's how they measure them. But it's pretty tiny. The hole punch size doesn't really matter though. You don't want to use a big one. You definitely want a smaller size. So you just continue making your way all the way down the folded pieces here. And punching your holes where you're marking them. Okay. And you want to try to keep the general tree shape kind of lined up. Oh, I forgot to make my mark. So as you can see, one thing just to kind of note, I'm using a darker shade of leather. So you can't actually see the pencil. You can maybe see it a little bit, but I'm pressing really hard so that I can see the indent, even if I can't see the pencil mark. That kind of helps you out if you can't see the pencil on your shade of fabric. Oh, I keep forgetting to make my marks. All right.
While you're doing that, there's a lot of people from Canada and Sweden joining in, and Scotland, and they have snow.
Nice. We don't have any, so we typically have snow this time of year already. We have not gotten any that has stuck around, so I'm waiting for it. I know it's coming. Okay, we're almost done with the holes here, and then you'll see how this starts to come together. And again, this is actually just a standard hole punch. They make specific hole punches for leather. That, you know, if you're going to be working with leather a lot, you may want to do that. There's one more piece. You got to punch the hole in the bottom. But this leather is pretty thin, and again, this is leather from furniture, so it works just fine on this. Okay, so we got all our holes punched, and as I mentioned in my blog post, I have the exact measurements, so you don't really have to do this part slowly like I did. You'll be able to just get your piece of 18-inch long strip and then just make all your punches. I have these measures listed on the blog where we punched. Okay. Any questions while I move on here?
No.
Okay.
I thought I could see.
All
Looks
right.
like the video paused.
Oh. We all good?
No, keep going.
Okay. All right, so I am using twine, and this is waxed twine.
Yeah, we usually use Wi-Fi on your phone. No, I've never had an issue. I think it's going again.
It's not going again?
Yeah, I think it's raining here, but normally I think you're going again.
Are we live? Come here. Can she tell us if she can see it?
Yeah. I think, I believe we're going again.
Okay. So I'm not sure exactly where the video cut off, but I'm just going to back up a couple steps here. Sorry for the technical difficulties, guys. So we punched our holes in the leather, and we got our string, and I put one bead on the string.
Okay.
And I'm going to put the string through the first hole here. And this one didn't punch out very well. I think it should work though. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to just, all we're going to do is we're going to put a bead between every fold of this Christmas tree. So now I'm going to take my string, and I'm just going to, we're going to fold this over. I'm going to find my next hole up, which is right here. All right. And you'll see how it's going to start coming together here. It's kind of hard to envision this so far, but there we go. All right, so we need some more wood beads here, and if you missed, you want to show them the wood beads again. So those are the beads I'm using. Those are 12 millimeter size, and I got those at Joann's craft store. All right, so another bead And then just continue making your way up the leather and putting the string through every hole we made. As you can see, it's going to start getting skinnier at the top because of the way we folded it. Just like a little Christmas tree. You getting any questions? Can you see them?
No questions yet. A lot of people saying we're back on, but
all right, good. I'm glad everyone can see us again. Alrighty. So again, just a reminder, what I want to know from you guys tonight is what you guys have been DIYing for Christmas. I know you have probably been making some fun crafts or maybe some Christmas gifts for your friends and family, so let us know in the comments. I'd love to get some ideas from you. Alright, so we're just continuing the process of putting a bead and then putting it through the hole as we make our way up the Christmas tree. And if you guys missed the beginning of this, I mentioned that the way I get my leather, I actually don't pay for my leather. I found a way to get it for free. I have a bunch in my garage. This is from, this leather we're using today is from a recliner that was damaged. So before taking it to the dump, I skinned all the leather off. Okay, so there's our Christmas tree, guys. Isn't it cute? So we're going to secure the bottom portion first. So I'm going to cut a piece of string here off my spool, just so I have lots of extra here. This is about 10 inches long. I'm going to grab one more bead because I want two at the bottom. And I'm going to loop it through here. And then I'm going to take the end of my string and I'm going to put it back up through the bottom of this top bead, just like this. And we'll just tighten it up. And that's going to secure the bottom, and you can kind of just twist it on its side. And then what we're going to do so that's nice and secure is we're just going to tie a knot here. And I'm going to tie two just because there we go. Okay, so that's the bottom, and I'm just going to cut off this extra. We don't need it. Okay, so then we're going to secure the top of our little Christmas tree. Alright, so the way we're going to do that is I have lots of extra string here, and I've just got one bead on the very top. I'm just going to take the end of the string and loop it back through the hoop, through the bead again from the bottom, and then just tighten it up. Oh, yeah, tighten it up here. There we go. And then I'm going to make my hanger for the Christmas tree. So I want it to be maybe a little bit shorter, about 3 inches or so at the top. And then all you're going to do here is just make a knot.
Some people are wondering if you've ever used any other material besides leather, or if you can.
I haven't. So this is the first time I've made leather Christmas trees, and I actually just kind of came up with this weekend. So I haven't played around a whole lot with it, but as I was doing this, I thought that this specific ornament would probably work great if you wanted to, if you didn't have leather and you wanted to use ribbon. I was thinking like Christmas ribbon or wired ribbon because it's kind of the same general size. So that could work too. But I haven't personally done that, but I think it would work just fine. All right, so just a quick recap before we move on to our next ornament. We cut out a piece of leather that was a 1/2 inch wide by 18 inches long. And then we kind of folded it up in this Christmas tree shape. We punched holes all the way through, and then we took our string and we kind of beaded it through the holes and put on the wood beads as we made our way up. So that's our first ornament, and we're going to make one more before we sign off. Alright, so this leather is just a little bit different. It's a lighter shade. This actually came from the couch that I mentioned that we skinned. We actually found this couch on Craigslist, and someone was gonna get rid of it, and I said no, let me use that. So we skinned all the leather off of it, and then we took it to the dump afterwards. So I've got lots of leather to work with. So if you have any good leather craft ideas, let me know. I of course need some more ideas. I don't know if any of you guys saw my live from Sunday night but I shared how to make leather keychains and bookmarks. So all I did is I just traced this circle on the back of the leather with my pencil again, and I'm just going to cut it out. And this circle is, I would say, probably, here, let me measure it before it's about 2¼ inches wide. That doesn't need to be exact, but if you find something in that general range in your house, I was thinking maybe it'd be like similar size as like a drinking glass from your kitchen, or maybe a bottle of something from the fridge. So kind of that general size. You could go smaller or larger. So all you do is we're tracing it out, and then we're cutting it, and these scissors that I'm using actually work really well with leather. They're 10 volts tonic scissors, and they're just crafting scissors. They make specific leather scissors. I personally don't have any. Maybe I think I'm gonna get some for Christmas. All right, so you want to continue that process until you have 4 circles, and you want them to be as symmetric and as same as you can. And one thing I do want to mention, you'll notice that when I traced on the back of the leather, I used pencil, and I would recommend using pencil and not something like a Sharpie, because you'll see it. You'll see how this kind of ornament comes together, but you would be able to see it if there was any markings. So what we're going to do is I'm going to be using glue for this one, and we're going to be, oh, I forgot one little step. Hold on. Okay, before we start gluing, we need to get our string in the middle of this. So we're going to be gluing all the circles together, but basically what I want to do is I want to keep string in the middle of this so that we have something to hang on the tree. So I'm going to put one bead at the bottom of the ornament. I'm just looping it through and all the way up. So I'm going to have 2 pieces going through the middle of these circles. All right, so let's go back to our glue here. And you want to put glue on just half of your first circle. And this glue that we're using is 3-in-1 craft glue, and I really love it. I use it on a lot of different craft projects. It does work really well on leather. They do make a specific glue just for leather, but this seems to work just fine if you don't want to go out and buy that. So you want to put your first circle on just the half that we glued and kind of fold it down in half. And then we're just going to continue this process until we get all of our 4 circles glued on. So be sure to get the edges real good too when you're putting your glue on. Okay, so I'm going to kind of crimp this in half. And I just kind of want to line that half up next.
Talk a little louder, babe.
Oh, sorry. And then keep it folded up here. All right, so you can see this is going to be kind of a ball-shaped ornament when it all comes together. All right, so we've got our last little circle to glue on here. All right. So we want to be sure our string gets in there. So that's going to be our hanger. You just kind of want to keep that in the middle. And we're going to put that half down. And then we've just got to do this one little side. All right. Okay. So, there we go. There's our ornament there. And I'm just going to kind of line up the middles and make sure where they're kind of crimped together. Okay, so as you can see, there's our little ball shape. And if you wanted to do more, you could probably fit maybe 5 or 6, and they would just be closer together like this if you wanted to put more circles, but I kind of like the 4. Okay. So for the top, this part's pretty easy. You grab one more of our little wood beads here. I'm going to cut this extra off. And all we're going to do is loop or put both of our both the strings through on the top, and then you're just going to tie them together to make your hanger.
People are wondering where else you can get cheaper leather or free leather.
Yes. So a few ideas for you if you're looking for some cheaper free leather. I would recommend, if you don't want to go through the process of skinning like an entire recliner or a couch, you could go to the thrift store and look for leather pants, leather jackets, leather bags, all that kind of stuff. Or even if you have them around your house and maybe you had a purse that got damaged, you could cut around the damage. And that's another way to get leather. So there's my tips for you. All right, so this one, just a quick recap. We cut out 4 circles that are about a 2 1/4 inch wide. We kind of glued them all together in this ball formation and just put the string in the middle to hold our cute little ornament. So here's the 2 ornaments we made today out of leather. And if you guys have any questions that we didn't get to or didn't see because of the technical difficulties, just be sure to drop them in the comments below, and I will go through all the comments in like a day or two and just make sure all your questions have been answered. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Before we go, when we sign off, there's going to be a button for you to subscribe, so be sure you push that so you get notified that every time Hometalk goes live, so you can watch all these fun live videos. All right, once again, my name's Chelsea. I blog over at Making Manzanita, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.